If you have a Swiss GmbH or you're thinking about setting up one of the first questions that you'll face is how do you actually manage the accounting? Swiss law requires OR compliant bookkeeping. That means a proper balance sheet, an income statement, and specific disclosures every single year. And if you're doing it yourself, you need a system that works. So today, I'm showing you the exact template that we use at S&E Legacy Holdings, now available for you to download and use. The real problem is that most accounting templates out there are designed for US and UK companies. They don't follow OR, the Swiss Code of Obligations. They don't handle multi-currency properly, and they definitely don't include an investor LP tracker, which you need if you're raising private capital. I spent months building and refining the system for our own holding company, and now I've packaged it into something that anyone with a Swiss GmbH can use from day one. The template has 9 sheets, and they all talk to each other automatically. You start at the Start Here tab. This is the only place where you should be setting up your company details. Company name, your canton, your tax rate. You enter the numbers once, and everything else updates automatically across the entire workbook. Please remember, blue cells are your inputs, black cells are formulas. Don't touch those. Green cells pull data from another sheet automatically, so please bear in mind all of this before you edit the Excel. Let's jump into the balance sheet. The balance sheet follows OR Article 959, which is exactly what Swiss authorities will require. You get a 2 years comparative view, current year versus the prior year. At the bottom, you have a balance check. This must equal 0 before you file. If it doesn't, something is wrong and you need to find it. Current assets, fixed assets, current liabilities, non-current liabilities, shareholders' equity, all structured exactly as OR requires. Now, jumping into the income statement. The income statement is split into 3 sections: income, financing costs, and operating expenses. The key thing here is that Swiss corporate tax is calculated automatically. You enter your cantonal tax rate in the Start Here tab, Zurich, Lucerne, wherever you are, and the template applies both the federal and the cantonal tax to give you an estimate tax liability. The net profit flows directly into the balance sheet. No manual entry is needed. Now into the fixed assets. Fixed assets support both depreciation methods accepted by the ESTV, the Swiss Federal Tax Administration. In the digressive depreciation method, you apply the rate to the prior year net book value. This is what most Swiss companies use for vehicles, typically a 40% in year 1, which gives you the maximum tax deduction upfront. Then you have the linear depreciation. You apply the rate to the original cost, simpler and predictable. You enter your assets, choose your method, and the template calculates everything automatically. Now jumping into the cash flow. The cash flow sheets gives you a full 12 months tracker, inflows, outflows, net cash flow, and closing balance, month by month, with a full year total column. The opening balance for each month links automatically to the prior month's closing balance. So once you set up the January, the chain builds itself. The loan tracker. If you have bank loans, shareholder loans, or loans to third parties, they all go here. You enter the principal currency, interest rate, start date, term, and monthly payment, and the template calculates your standing balance automatically. This is particularly useful if you're financing assets through a Swiss bank. You can track exactly where you stand on every facility at any given time. The investor LP sheets. This is the sheets that most templates don't have, and is one of the most valuable if you're running private holding company. If you have private investors lending capital to your GmbH, what we call LP investors, you manage all of them here, up to 8 investors, each with their own capital amounts, currency, and interest rates. The spread calculator at the bottom is particularly useful. You enter what rate you're charging to your borrower and what rate you're paying to your investor, and it shows you exactly how much spread you're retaining. In our case, we lend at 12% and pay investors 7%. That is 5% spread on the deployed capital. There's also a FINMA compliant note built in, because in Switzerland, how you structure investor loans really matters. The tax calculator. The tax calculator pulls your profit before tax directly from the income statement and calculates your full Swiss tax liability, federal plus cantonal, automatically. It also handles the Verrechnungssteuer, the 35% Swiss withholding tax that applies to dividends and some interest payments. If you're planning to distribute profits to yourself as a shareholder, this shows you exactly what gets withheld and what you receive net. Finally, the Notes and Disclosures tab. This is often overlooked, but OR Article 958C requires it. 8 sections are pre-written for you. Basis of preparation, accounting policies, significant estimates, related party transactions, share capital, financial risk management, post-balance sheet events, and going concerns. You replace the brackets placeholders with your actual figures and you're done. No starting from a blank page. So that's the Swiss GmbH accounting template. 1 file, 9 sheets, everything connected automatically, OR compliant, multi-currency with investors tracking built in. The link to download it is in the description below. If you have questions about how to use it or how to adapt it to your specific situation, drop a comment or reach out directly through S&ELegacy.com. If this was useful, subscribe. I try to put content every month on Swiss holdings, structures, private debt, investing, and building wealth across borders. See you in the next video.